in 3, 2, 1, and go.
Good afternoon. This is the June 7th meeting for the Civic Center, and we are virtual. I'd like to thank everyone for being here. I'm Donna Bailey, the chair. John Ellis is with us. Didn't see Mukunda. Is he not here?
No.
No? Okay. Corey Atkins. Is Corey here? No, geez. No. John, I know John Pierce is here. Yvonne Cook-Riley is here, and I would like to welcome our newest member, Chad Evans. Welcome. The first thing on the agenda is to approve the minutes of the May meeting. Do I have a motion to approve? I assume everybody's read them diligently.
So moved.
Second.
Second, please.
Ellis. Second, Ellis.
Okay. Approved. And any discussion, I should say. Sorry. No. Let's vote to approve. All those in favor, aye.
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 Any nays? Motion minutes were approved. We can turn now to the city council. Antoinette isn't here. Is anyone speaking for her today?
She sent a note. She was apologetic. She couldn't make it. She's actually at a funeral today. The main thing she wanted to get across was welcome to Chad for joining the commission. And then she wanted to mention that council had approved the Tourism Product Development Fund grant applications that we spoke about last week. But I'll talk about those later, so we can, instead of hitting them twice, I'll talk about them later.
Okay. We would like to hear from the Sports Commission update. Demp?
Get it. Let's see. Just making sure I wasn't on mute. Good afternoon. I hope everyone is doing well. This is we're finishing up our fiscal year. So we're in the process of trying to wrap up our Southern Conference financials. One of the trends that we are seeing this year is, expenses are up. And then we still saw some decline in attendance, either partly because of some of the team draws, but then also potentially because of COVID. We're anxiously awaiting the announcement of the 22 and hopefully 23 fields of the Asheville Championship and the teams that will be participating in that. We start a pretty aggressive couple of weeks of outdoor events. So we start off with, we have 2 weeks of what is called the Carpetbagger Lacrosse Summer Classic. Used to be a 1 weekend event. They split it into 2 weekends with the boys and girls now having their own separate weekends. We've almost doubled the field of that event. It's a great event for Asheville. We're going to have a new event in July. We're going to be doing flag football at JBL. It's our first venture into football on a soccer field, but they don't have to have goals. So then we get into the Skyview Golf Tournament in July, July 12th to the 14th, and then go straight into the USA Cycling National Grand Fondo National Championships. We do a little bit more lacrosse at the end of July with our Blue Ridge Lacrosse and our Beer City Cup. And then one of the things that most of you are aware of, the Grapple wrestling tournament. It is just continuing to take new wings and grow. And we've got teams from all over the state who are higher quality teams who want to come and experience how that tournament is set up as kind of like a precursor to the state tournament with having all 10 mats. We're hopefully optimistic that we'll be able to have the Gala gymnastics back. So Chris and I are working on getting everything worked out with them. Gala is a very important event for us because it is always on the first full weekend of January. And we max out at 1,642 participants, I think is what we max out at. And the significance is that started with 72 gymnasts about 10 years ago at UNC Asheville. So it has grown. It has, a direct impact of about $1.3 million. So it is, and generates about 2,500 room nights. So it's a great event from our community. So we trying to get everything lined back up. They were very proactive last year in not having the event last year, which worked out with Delta and Omicron and everything else with COVID. But one of the owners is a physician and just did not feel comfortable with that tournament. So we did fill it with more American Cornhole that weekend. We had 250 people, but it still doesn't have the impact that Gala does on our community. It's a really great event for us. So excited to hopefully be coming out on the next side of non-COVID impact events moving forward. So just excited about getting ready to start a new year and looking forward to what that may entail.
Great. Any questions for Deb? I always look forward to Grapple. For some reason, I just think that is the coolest. CVB update, Marshall?
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome, Chad, to the board. Just looking at our lead volume for the month of May, we fielded 74 leads worth 13,223 room nights. Compared to May of 19, our benchmark year, we had 83 leads and almost 22,000 room nights. So similar trend we're seeing in terms of, number of leads are fairly constant, but smaller events taking place as requests for the community. In terms of our May sales activities, we attended Meeting Planners International, the Carolinas chapter up in Cherokee. We attended the South Carolina Society of Association Executives on the South Carolina coast. We attended Connect Sports in Puerto Rico, meeting with many of our sports customers. We did a presentation to the AAA of Ohio Travel Club. And this month will be a heavy travel month as well. We've got two folks down in New Orleans at PCMA right now. I'll be attending Conference Direct annual partner meeting in San Francisco next week. And Catherine will be attending Smart Meetings in DC in a couple of weeks as well. We also in May had our Explore Asheville Tourism Summit at the Omni Grove Park Inn. Stu Colvin of MMGY gave a great overview of our storytelling platform, followed by a diversity workshop from Avita Robinson at Nomadness. And then lastly, we finalized our 23 budget, which was approved at the May 25 board meeting. And that's the update from Explore Asheville, unless Vic has anything to add.
Vic, do you have anything?
Thanks, Marshall, and thanks, Donna. Just a note for this board that a bill was filed in Raleigh to change the allocation of the occupancy tax and how it's used here in Buncombe County. So we're hopeful that will pass in this short session in the next 30 days. And then our fiscal year starting July of 22 would start with a 2/3 of the occupancy tax going to marketing and sales investment, and 1/3 to community related projects for tourism and capital and non-capital.
Wow, that's a huge hurdle that you're going through. Congratulations. Also, I saw your video from your meeting, which was excellent. Really well done. Well done.
Thank you. That's the Storytelling Foundation that Marshall mentioned. And so we're really excited to start capturing content, both video and still, in terms of being able to tell our story in that way.
It's great. It's really good.
Thanks.
Any questions for either Marshall or Vic? Okay, Daniel Krupa, Asheville Symphony update, please.
Hey everyone, good to see you all. The Symphony just wrapped up its Masterworks season this last weekend with a season finale performance at Thomas Wolfe Auditorium. Very successful, about over 30,000 in single tickets sold, which is almost double what we do on an average concert. So really successful way to round out the year. Overall, as I've mentioned all year, our trend has been that single tickets are considerably up compared to usual, a pre-COVID year, and subscriptions are down, which I think surprises no one. We have announced next season, including, and we've started our subscription renewals for next year. So I'm very curious to see how much COVID will continue to impact that, and if this is a new era we're moving into of single tickets really being the dominant force from now on and subscriptions trending down, or whether it will bounce back now that people feel a little more comfortable in the post-COVID era. Next season is a big one for us. It is one of our most ambitious seasons ever. So we are moving back to a full 7-concert Masterworks series. This year we were down to 6 because of COVID. So we're back up to 7. We're bringing back our Symphony in the Park concert in August in downtown Pack Square Park, considering that the popularity of that event. We're expanding that Alt ASO Chamber Orchestra series to a 4-concert series at various locations around town, including breweries and Salvage Station and the Orange Peel. And then we're also bringing back the Asheville Amadeus Festival in May of 2023. So that'll be a 10-day celebration of arts and culture, and the Symphony will spearhead it, but dozens of organizations across the community will be involved of an arts and culture nature and beyond. So we're really excited for next year. Should be a big, exciting, and busy year for the Symphony. In terms of requirements for COVID, we dropped our vax requirements a couple months ago, but we did decide to finish our season with the masks requirement in place. And, we're continuing to face lots of public acrimony in that regard. But I know there are just as many on the other side that only feel comfortable attending because the masks are in place. So we've told everyone we're going to be reevaluating for next season. And I think it's probably likely we would move to a mask optional route for next year, although we'll wait and see how numbers and cases and hospitalizations are as we move into the fall. That's pretty much my Symphony update. Any questions I can answer?
Nope. Thank you, Daniel. Always good to hear your successes. Always. Chris Coral, you are going to give us your manager's update, please.
Yeah, good afternoon, everybody. I'll start with upcoming events first. This weekend is graduation weekend in Buncombe County, so we have the Buncombe County high schools in the building, 3 of them. With everything that's been going on across the country, our security levels have increased like 3 times in the last 3 months, it feels like. So we're changing some things up, including some more physical barriers around the building and some tighter security at every door. Then we kind of get into what is our summer months, which are really just projects around the building with some peppered in events. June wraps up with River Dance, Leanne Morgan, and Amos Lee in the building. July has the return of the craft fair, which is one of everyone's favorites. Paw Patrol Live is in the arena for a few days, as well as a regional clogging competition. And August, we're kind of kicking off our fall season a month early this year, which I think is a good sign for next budget year. We have 4 concerts in the Thomas Wolfe in August compared to normally 1, maybe. And 3 of those 4 are nearly sold out, and the 4th probably will be within the week. So we're trending pretty well already. Labor Day weekend, we haven't had an event on Labor Day weekend in my 10 years here. We have a concert Saturday or Sunday of Labor Day weekend with Ghost in the arena, which sold out on the on sale. We follow September with 4 more arena concerts, a Sunday night, a Tuesday night, and a Thursday night, 2 of which are already sold out as well. So it's trending well for the upcoming year as far as upcoming events go. Any questions on events before I get into any of the other topics? Okay. Well, so the Tourism Product Development Fund grant applications we spoke about at the May meeting. So we took the Nature Center project and the Asheville Mini Golf project to City Council for approval. Basically their approval of the funds that we had on the city side to go and apply for the grant, and if awarded, receive the money from the grants. Both were awarded, as well as a Swananoa Greenway project and a Cox Avenue Green Street project. So Council gave us our blessing to move forward with the applications, which we submitted the first phase June 1st. And so now we eagerly await the Product Development Fund Grant Board's review at the end of June, and hopefully we'll be selected to move on to phase 2, which is a significantly bigger application process, if you will. The first phase was, I think, 4 or 5 page document, pretty high level. And when we've done this in the past, the second phase of the application is a lot more involved. And hopefully we'll have the chance to put that together. Any questions on the TPDF grant applications? No. All right. And Vic stole my thunder on the potential legislation changes to the occupancy tax. We can send out a link to the PDF, which is on the NC Ledge website, just so the group has it. But this group in the past has brought up the occupancy tax over and over again for my 10 years here, and I think for the 10 to 15 years before me, about how that occupancy tax could really be utilized in a different way to help support the venue, but not only just the venue, other city projects. And the new wording in the tax, if passed as it is, really opens the door for other opportunities throughout the city, including maintenance and some general upkeep of the building. Still nothing operational, but capital maintenance for any past awarded projects, which the Harris Cherokee Center would be part of, Greenways, John B. Lewis Soccer Complex, a lot of different properties throughout the city, and many that we now manage within our umbrella, if you include the Nature Center, for example. I'll send that out though after this meeting, just so everyone has it. But any questions on this? It's perfect time because Vic's here too. I can probably answer them better than I.
Well, I know both of you have worked really
I have some
hard
questions.
on that, and congratulations.
Thank you. Yvonne, what's your questions?
Internal projects. Well, I have a list of some of the to accomplish this this summer are down, kind of like you know, some things that are we going to work on Thomas Wolfe to prep Thomas?
There'll be some work in the Thomas Wolfe. We had a couple of roof leaks in the last few weeks that we just got repaired.
Well, for the
in last
project,
few
or are we
days.
going to just roof leaks are a big problem, especially with that ceiling.
Yeah, they are. We had some significant plaster damage in balcony right and orchestra right as well. So we'll probably do some basic repairs in there, but nothing huge. We're trying to keep repairs in the Thomas Wolfe to a manageable order because as everyone in this group knows, we can spend hundreds of thousands in there every year and still not catch up, and we don't have that much in the budget. So we're trying to manage through what we can and can't do in-house and with small contractor projects. Any other questions?
These things are important that we have a shopping list to be able to present.
Yes. Yeah.
Let's go, Chris.
Once the legislation changes officially and is passed, the city's intending to have a working group put together. Our shopping list is a good word for it. Our list of target projects, target opportunities, and to work with the TDA and the county maybe as joint partners in some projects and submit next cycle and really start moving forward with some bigger changes, hopefully.
Thank you, Chris.
Yep. Any other questions before I pass it to Matthew for the marketing report? All right, Matthew, go for it.
Okay, awesome. Since it has been, I'll wait for my screen here to kind of update there. Everybody can see that?
Nope.
Okay. One moment. Because I'm getting an error, that's why.
You want me to present it and you can just tell me when to move forward?
Yeah, I'm getting a weird error menu error thing. Let me see if I can try again. Okay. I think we're there. Okay. Since it has been a while, this report would be more of a annual report dating from May 1st of last year to May 31st of this year. We really didn't, have any events over the course of the first couple of months of this. So I want you to just keep that in mind. And Chris, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe our first major event from the start of this time frame was widespread panic. For that, and that was, I believe, in early August. A couple of snapshots here for that. This report overall will provide an overview of our digital metrics. Overall, we've seen double-digit growth in every single category, even triple digits comparative to the year before, which was expected and forecasted as we made a return to live events. With total audience growth about 10.8, 11% growth as well for that, is 30% growth and 30% growth in annual messages posted, as well as a 57.8% increase in messages going out and received for that, which, kind of coincides with what we're doing overall with the events. As more events are coming back, people want more information. We're posting more about events because we actually have more events happening for that. One of the biggest takeaways overall is a 501% increase in impressions during that. And you can see, according to that chart, that those coincide easily with our major events. Spikes in August with widespread panic, October into November with Billy Strings and the Asheville Championships, as well as March, April, you'll see that continued swell, which is in conjunction with the Southern Conference Tournament and the Billie Jean King Cup, as well as paid and organic media impressions for that. Engagements follow the same lines for that all. As we're bringing events back, people want to know what's happening. They have questions about it prior to the event. Then we're also resharing, reposting their content, as well as interacting with user-generated content, or UCG, in that component as well. A snapshot of some of our top posts by impressions. Gojira, which was another sellout as well, with Midland as well. A brief kind of snapshot of our website demographics as well. You can see top right-hand corner, about 47.28% of our overall user audience comes from North Carolina, which means that, outside that, regionally speaking, the next few numbers are Tennessee, Georgia, South Carolina, Virginia, and Florida, which kind of track with us as, our market, our accessible, easy market, we define as 0 to 250 miles out a radius from that. So that really allows us and kind of solidifies what that brings into what we're going to. We've also had pings and people with interest looking at our pages from Texas, New York, Ohio, California. We've had touches in almost all 50 states from a digital standpoint of our website. Below that, you can also see the kind of growth in traffic overall comparative in the same time frame to the year before that. We've had 296,920 users across that time period, which averages out to about just a little under 25,000 for that, which is a little bit right around par for us historically prior to COVID as well. If anybody would prefer to see any more granular details of any of these details, statistics, or information, I'd be happy to provide that. With that being said, does anybody have any questions?
Are we projecting a good year this coming year along these lines that for the next couple of years that we will continue to see growth? And how is that going to affect the Thomas Wolf's project?
You know, I thought I was going to get away without getting the Yvonne question, but you're on it today. In terms of marketing, I mean, I think that this plays into so many different facets of what we're trying to do. It applies to the overall licensing deal with Harrah's Cherokee. You know, us being able to bring in venue sponsorships, us able to bring in different kinds of events. From a fiscal aspect of it all, I would probably defer to Chris on there, but I mean, it's easy to see that with, you know, I think that we hit above our weight class on so many levels with the quality, the diversity, and the number of events that we bring into each room in our venue annually. And I think that that is only going to increase with the partnerships we've been able to cultivate with the Sports Commission, Kemper Lesnick, promoters, all sorts of boards, as well as local, regional, and national touring events, conventions, expos, meetings, and things like that.
Hey, Matthew, were there any analytics? Did we get any like international bounce with, especially with the Billie Jean King Cup? Did you see anything there, or just more again, U.S.?
It was high majority of U.S. interactions. We did have interactions from South America, Europe, and Eastern Asia, which would fall into the Ukraine reach corridor. However, comparatively speaking, those numbers were lower compared to our domestic numbers for audience, users, interactions, sessions, new users, and activity. But I'd be happy to provide that information to you down the road on that, Deb.
Yeah, no, I was just, you've done, I really like the analytics here, so thank you. Great job.
Who runs the social media accounts? Is there like a team, like the Instagram posts? Is there?
That would be me.
Okay. Very good.
It's a big team of one.
All right. Thank you.
To add on to Yvonne's question, as far as looking forward this year, you know, 5 or 6 years ago, 4 to 5 arena concerts was like a great year. We've got 13 confirmed already for this coming fiscal year. I'd have to do a quick count to see what we did this fiscal year, but it was probably similar. So I would anticipate we're probably going to get somewhere in the neighborhood of 16 to 18 total arena concerts, because we're confirmed on our arena side through February, March. So I doubt we'll have many more add through next fiscal year at this point. But the Thomas Wolf is running strong, and it's November, December is confirming right now. We're getting into the spring. Probably in the next couple of months, we'll start getting into booking January, February, March, April.
Chris, just a question on consumer behavior. Daniel alluded to the shift that the symphony world is seeing. When we were first coming out of COVID, you had mentioned that, you know, the big name acts were still selling out very quickly. Other acts which had sold out in the past were very slow, etc. Anything that you can intuit or infer from ticket buying behavior at this point?
Oh, I would say it's trending better and better. I think we're getting closer to those 2019, 2020 levels. For example, we just went on sale with Zach Bryan on a Tuesday night. I think we sold out in like 25 minutes in the arena. Same with Ghost. We went on sale and it was sold out in the arena within 30 minutes, I want to say, with the, you know, a couple hundred tickets. Like I'll call a sellout on the on sale anything that there's 200 or less tickets available at the end of it, because it's definitely going to clean up. The mid-level shows have been slower, like ZZ Top and Foreigner, for example, in August. Both came out of the gate with maybe 800 or so tickets sold in the first weekend and have been kind of a slow grind, but they're going to get to that 1,600, 2,000 number and be just fine. So yeah, acts that have played the market numerous times and maybe like mid-level at this point or have an older demo are definitely selling slower. new acts that haven't played the market or haven't played in a long time are going quick. And you're seeing that at Rabbit too. They've got the advantage of being outdoors right now, which is really helpful. But new acts that haven't played the market are going sold. They're selling out much faster than ones that maybe have played a few times.
But as you said, there's also the age demographic.
Yeah,
okay.
Definitely. Although, Riverdance we have in June. I think there's only 600 seats left for that. And the last time we hosted Riverdance, we only sold like 600 seats. So I don't know what's up with that, because that's definitely an older demo, but it's selling pretty well.
Fantastic.
Well, it hasn't been back to the Peace Center in a while. I guess it's coming up at the Peace Center, but
yeah, I don't know.
Anything else, Chris, that you'd like to share at this point?
No, not that I can think of. We're just we're moving forward on the grant applications, trying to book some gigs and keeping on. We just need to hire some more people, just like everyone else.
Yeah.
How's our volunteering going? I noticed that the volunteers for the sports events have been pretty good, but how about it for other things that you need volunteers for? Are they filling up?
The concessions volunteer program is still going pretty well. We have a couple groups that we know are not coming back next year. We'll be putting a press release out, I want to say in July, to try to advertise for some more volunteer groups to come in, but we've got a pretty solid core. Really, it's just the big events that we need a few more. Like, we're good for the majority of everything, but 2-3 night runs on Halloween weekend, New Year's Eve, those are the hard things to staff. Getting one volunteer group to work 3 consecutive nights, so 8-hour shifts late into the night is challenging. So trying to fill a couple of those voids, but otherwise we're pretty good.
Well, I really should think that we should tap our hats off to our volunteers that stuck with us through the COVID and let them know that volunteering in Asheville is a kind of like the gold standard of belonging to this community.
Yeah, we're doing a volunteer appreciation event for the SoCon and Billie Jean King Cup volunteers later in June. And we've been talking about putting something together for our concession volunteers and event staff as well this summer.
Fantastic. Thank you for that.
That's a great program. Any other questions for Chris or Matthew? No. Our old business is concerning the meeting calendar. Chris, you want to talk about that, please?
Yeah. So every year in June, we basically adopt the next coming year's meeting calendar just to make sure that we have all the dates set in advance and then we can get them sent out. We do this because some years, depending on how the calendar falls, the first Tuesday lands on Election Day, and there's another holiday that New Year's Eve it sometimes lands on. So we try to make sure to get that taken care of in advance. So if you look at that calendar that's out there, there's no major conflicts. The only things I would note is potentially wanting to look at changing September's date just because it's the day after Labor Day, and that might be a hard day to get a full quorum, and potentially January's date because it's right after the New Year's weekend, and that also might be a hard date to get a quorum. But y'all's decision to make. We would need to vote on and approve the meeting calendar for the next fiscal year so that we can set those.
Well, do you have the calendar ready for us to look at?
Yeah, it's I see you're in a car. It's linked in the agenda, but it's right now it's just listed as the first Tuesday in every month, and with no meeting in July like normal, with those only 2 potential conflicts being Labor Day and January 3rd being right after the New Year's holiday.
Have you changed those 2 dates, Chris, or are you just going to leave?
I have not. So that's up to you guys to say, like, yes, you want to change them, or no, you want to go ahead and move forward with the dates as is. Yeah.
Well, then I think we need to have a vote on that. Is that correct, Chris?
Yeah, I mean, if you guys want to have a discussion, if anybody wants to change the dates, speak now or vote and forever hold your peace.
There's a thought.
There's a,
How does everybody feel about the dates which Chris is recommending, including the changes, the September change and the January change? Any nays?
Well, are we
Sorry.
going to change? Sorry, Donna. Are we
No,
going
that's
to
okay.
make these changes, or are we just going to go with it and see what happens when we get there?
Well, my recommendation would be to pick the dates, including the two changes on September and January, because we know there'll be a problem, and put those in writing, and then perhaps what we should do is vote on it the next meeting. Chris, you got a thought?
I would vote on it this meeting.
Okay, we could do that.
And
Yeah,
if
we have to stay with the city.
yeah, and if we make those changes, that would put the September meeting to the second Tuesday, which was September 13th, and the January meeting to the second Tuesday, which would be January 10th.
I mean, Chris, haven't we always?
I would move.
I was
Go
going
ahead,
to say, go ahead.
Yvonne, you were going to say?
No, I would move with the alternate dates that Chris just verbally told us, and I think that if we go on the calendar in that way, then everybody can adjust accordingly. So I would move that we accept the calendar with these amendments.
Do we have a second on that?
I'll second that.
Any discussion? We can have a vote. All in favor, say aye.
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 Any nays? Then it has been approved, Chris.
Cool.
That work for you?
That works. We'll let the city clerk's office know.
Okay. And lastly, the August 2nd meeting, Chris, is that going to be virtual or in person? Where is the city on all that?
We are, to my knowledge, unless something changes, we are officially approved to meet in person again beginning in August. So the August 2nd meeting would be in person here at the banquet hall, and we'll send that info out here this week, just so everyone's got it on their calendar and everything. How to park, where to go once you get here, et cetera, et cetera.
Okay. Any questions about going from virtual to in person? Okay, great. Any new business that we haven't discussed?
Donna?
Sorry, go ahead, Yvonne.
Yeah, Donna, I think that I would enjoy hearing about our newest member of the commission and a little introduction for him to be familiar with the rest of us before we have an opportunity to meet in August.
Yvonne, I have to say, Chris made that suggestion to me earlier today, and I said, well, why don't we wait until we actually are in person? But I think you're right. Chad, would you mind introducing yourself and telling us a little bit about your background for those of us who haven't seen your resume?
Sure. Actually, I was going to mention something about going in person. So I work at the Biltmore, and we do a lot of meetings, and some are in person, some are virtual, and we have also some hybrid that are mostly in person, but then if some people can't make it due to whatever reason, it's really nice for them to join as well. So my question would be, would it be 100% in person, 100% virtual, or do you have the equipment to do both?
We have the equipment and ability. However, with how the North Carolina public meetings laws work, we either have to be 100% virtual or 100% in person. meetings.
That's fascinating.
Wait,
Good information.
there was a time whenever it was allowed to be a mix, and I think that I can't remember if it was a bill, a law, a temporary COVID thing, but that has expired. So at this point, it's 100% one way or another.
Good. I look forward to going in there. But yeah, so I work at Biltmore Corporate Technology. Technically, I'm the Corporate Technology Development Manager. So we do just everything technology. A lot of it is web technologies, whether it's our websites or our apps, all kinds of various reasons for technology within Biltmore. It's like an entire, I don't know, there's probably 100 different businesses within Biltmore. It's like an entire city of businesses in and of itself. And it's pretty amazing, I gotta say. They run the place so well. And I've been very fortunate to be a part of all that, just coming from a web development background. And I've lived in Asheville maybe 8 years now. And so I've always been interested in the local happenings in the community and everything. And so I saw an opening, applied, here we are.
How long have you been
Fantastic.
with Biltmore?
You said how long with the Biltmore?
Yeah.
It's been about 5 years.
5 years.
Mm-hmm.
Well, welcome aboard, and we appreciate your service.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this. Well, I'm already here, so I don't need to look forward anymore.
All right. Any other discussions before we take a vote?
Oh,
Go ahead, Vaughn.
I have one more issue. Okay. Yeah, you can't let me go, right? There's been some movement by Duke Energy to move the subplant behind the building. Is that still on track, Chris?
They actually are upstairs today in the banquet hall having a full day meeting about that. There's going to be a public meeting announced in July. I want to say it's going to be on the 25th potentially, or the 26th. It's going to be hosted here, and they're going to use the back porch / smoking patio as part of that public meeting, so people can actually see over down onto the substation to provide some input on where the old one is going away and what's going to happen there, and where the new one will be built, because both can be seen from that back porch area. So it's moved. Process is moving. Yes.
And Chris, what kind of
Process.
Go ahead, Devon.
Go ahead, John. I'm sorry.
I was going to say, what kind of additional?
John, go ahead.
Okay, what type of additional capabilities will the substation move allow you to have?
As far as in the world where we have whatever money we need, it's a total game changer. The $100 million number that came out of the Thomas Wolfe renovation when we were looking to host Broadway was heavily influenced by the need to drop the stage 20 feet to affect load in and all these other things. And the additional footprint of roughly 70 feet from the back of our current property line to Rankin, it's a complete game changer. Like the footprint there that puts all of the property behind the building in the city's hands to have available for development in one way, shape, or form. There's been, I don't even know, 7 or 8 studies over the years with what to do with the Civic Center. Nothing in the last couple of years, but the HERE report is probably the most specific that ties to the substation, in that it developed a performing arts center behind the building with connected storage, meeting space, office space, and I think at the time retail space that could be maybe affordable housing now, that then converted the Thomas Wolfe into more meeting and convention space to tie to the arena. So there's a whole lot of concepts out there that have already been talked about that relied on that plant moving, and it just wasn't in the anywhere like 5 to 10 year plan for a while, and now it's in Duke's 2 to 5 year plan. So it could be a monumental change for us moving forward.
Chris, is that move?
John,
Sorry, Chris, is that move just across the street into that parking lot? There's been some kind of confusion as to where exactly that relocation was going to be.
Yeah, hence the public meeting in July. So it would be moving across the street to the city-owned parking lot on the south or the east side of Rankin Avenue. And it would go there, and then we'd land swap and take the land that it's currently sitting on for the city. It's the concepts, none of these things are contracted or done deals, but the concept that's being talked about anyway.
so if we're going to move forward with any project that's going to involve redoing our section of town, it's our planning phase now is based upon if they're going to move in 2 years and complete in 3 years. That's not a big time frame for us to get a package together, especially if we're going to look for big money through a bond or a voting issue, things like that. Have we been thinking about that as a commission to work on that project?
So the next available bond is in November of 2024. And council would have to approve what items that we could go to a bond for. So yeah, we're 2 years out of the next opportunity for a voter bond. And I think we've learned with the past project potential here that a project of that size, scale, and scope in the community would probably have to be a voter bond with, affordable housing, cleanliness, like all these other bigger issues that are more core service for the city. A project like the Thomas Wolfe is almost going to have to be a voter bond as opposed to a general fund capital project, if that makes sense.
So what I'm hearing off the top is that we have a lot of work to do and to tie the project to multiple opportunities for the city to embrace. Am I correct?
Yep. The more diverse a project, the better chance of moving it forward, right? The more areas it touches and helps, the better chance of moving a project forward.
And Chris, do you feel like this substation move is a done deal at this point in time, or still a planning type thing?
I mean, it's definitely still in the planning phase, but Duke has to move. Like, they need to increase their capacity downtown, and the only way to do that is to build another one. So it has to happen. It's just a matter of how it happens.
Okay.
Any further discussion?
I think we got to. Donna, I'm really excited about being a part of this whole project here. That's going to change a lot of different things very slowly, but when it happens, it's going to be fantastic.
Yeah, I agree. Any other
And
discussion?
thank you, Chris, for the update.
Yeah. And thank you, Chris, for all the work you've already putting into all of this. We recognize you're working to get it to where it is. So thank you.
No problem. It's my job.
Any further discussion?
I move to adjourn.
If Yvonne moves to adjourn, then we can adjourn. Goodbye, everybody. See you in August.
Thank you.